think this is a perfect story. This has all the elements of a perfect story. There's characters, there's conflict, there's going to be a climax soon, and then there'll be a resolution. And I just think it's a great story, and I love analyzing it and trying to make sense of it.
Like Kevin said, covering the team, they make it very obvious that they don't like the mainstream press. They probably wish that we didn't bother showing up, yet they still want us to, they're giving away shoes to the needy on Tuesday, and boy, they'd love to have a little brief in the paper, or boy, they'd like to have a photographer out there. But, as far as getting access, if it weren't for Roger Goodell and his mostly media-friendly policy, we may not get access to them at all.
Mostly cordial, incredibly frustrating, as Kevin mentioned, completely controlling. The access that we have to how we cover the team, even from the on-field perspective, has changed significantly since I started doing this, I would say, on a regular basis 8-9 years ago. It's been very tenuous. As far as access to the Chargers, those are the most important people that we want to hear from, that fans want to hear from, I think would be the ownership with these fans. So my access is extraordinarily limited. I think we might...
But I think this is beautiful what's happening, and here's why. There are so many people engaged in civic policy right now, and they're learning about land use, they're learning about the 2/3 requirement for tax increases, they're learning about public finance, bonds, and these are the kinds of things that I've dealt with for a long time now, and I'm really excited that people want to learn about them and put them together as they try to put this puzzle together.
It's difficult because it is constantly changing, and you're reporting everything as if it is the biggest deal, and you just know it's going to change. I can't tell you the number of times I've been chasing down something, and then it occurs to me, either what someone said or what I know is like, this really doesn't matter until they get to start talking about it. CSAC can put out their stuff about this, or the Chargers can leak this about this. None of it matters till they get it, and the city says, no, you know what, we're going to need $400 million from you. And Dean's going to say, I can't do that. Or whatever. That's when all of this will matter. Until then, it's really just noise.
I think they want to go to LA, and I think that they might fail, and I think the city's best hope, if you want to keep them, is that LA is delayed for a year, or is somehow mucked up over the next year, and that something happens in the meantime that makes them change their mind. And I think I get a lot of flack from Charger fans who say that's negative. I don't believe that's negative. I think that's you should think of me as an alarm. And I've told people at the city that for years. Like, think of me as a warning alarm, not as a jerk. I'm not trying to poison the situation. I'm trying to let you know this is me trying to call it as I see it. And I have been right in the past. I'm not saying I'm always right. But I think that they want to leave. And I think that if we understood it that way, we might approach these discussions in a way that could potentially change that, or could maybe affect the outcome of what happens in Mission Valley.
But maybe it's gotten to the point that San Diego can't afford the NFL anymore. The NFL has gotten so big that San Diego just can't handle it.
Probably hasn't been a day that's gone by where somebody hasn't asked me, do you think the Chargers are gone?
Yeah.
And I have one of two answers. I don't know, and yes. If you were asking this question 2 years ago, I would say no. I think they really want to get it done, and I did believe that these fans want to get it done. I think what Stan Kroenke and Inglewood changed everything, and I think the biggest thing, it's not going to be CSAC's proposal. It's not going to be what they want the Chargers to contribute, or if they think that a surcharge on tickets and parking is feasible. I think the biggest issue right now that's going to make this extremely difficult is the timeliness factor. Okay, you've heard that the NFL can move the relocation date for the application process to October. I don't think that happens because you don't want to have a lame duck team during the season. But then it could happen in January. You have a city that hasn't done anything in this issue in the past 13, 14 years. And it's very difficult to believe that in the course of 4 months, and they might start Tuesday just by talking about it, not changing the proposal, it's hard to believe that they can really come up with a feasible plan in 4 months. and have a special election, which is in the best interest, and get enough of votes. It's really hard to believe that the Chargers have faith that this can actually get done. And to all your points, if you're the Chargers, the last thing you want is to be the third team to LA, because there aren't going to be 3 teams to LA. There might be 2 at best situation. You're not
writing in October about this, and people universally killed me when I said, LA's for real, folks. Don't stop talking about it as just smoke. There's fire there, and people universally killed me.